Well, hello there, Minecrafters. Thanks for coming by. We are back in Diversity 2 once again today. But guys, look, we are already on the second half of this series. Oh man, it's been a long time coming. Now, just to recap, we've already talked about adventure, arena, trivia, parkour, and escape branches in past episodes. So definitely check those out. And spoilers, guys, definitely don't watch these videos unless you've played the map, or at least the branch that you're going to watch the video for. I do not want to ruin it for you. It would be so much more fun if you play it first. But anyway, I'm looking forward to these ones too, guys. Oh man, this I think is the last solo episode I'll be doing for this series. We're going to have the other builders in for this, and we're going to talk to them about what they contributed to the map with. But let us go into the Labyrinthian stupid word branch. And the first room we have here, let's shed some light on the issue, is the old complex, or the original room from Diversity 1 Escape Branch. So I wanted to bring that back just to nod and show some homage to what you would have played in the prequel, I guess. Is that the word, the prequel? Over here, a lot of people skip this. It is the book and some strength potions. But the book basically just tells you, look for the 4 skulls, place them where they're supposed to go. And then we have some obfuscated font, however you say that. Now this here, it says something like listen for the portals or something. I put that in there because I thought if you were nerdy enough you could decipher that, but it doesn't actually work with Telraw. When we all saw that in the code, I did an LP on the code as by a map by Jesper. You were able to change that, but he used the say command, so can't do it with Telraw. And then the last one here, watch, it just drops the wool. That's a pretty cool effect. I should also say that that's purple because we're in a purple level. But anyway, we drop down here, and this is your first indication. Okay, I don't know this part. It's quite different. Now I'm just gonna go to difficulty peaceful so we can talk. We don't have a yelling zombies at us. So here we have our 4 colors. Now they do correspond to the floors that they're on. So if you're on a green floor, you get the zombie skull. If you're on the yellow floor, you get the wither skull. If you're on the red floor, which is the very bottom, you get the creeper skull, and same with the skeleton with the blue. You get these markers here, which are pretty cool, I think. I think that's cool. Now, these ones here, they can be placed on stained glass or stained clay or quartz of any type, also on the walls. You probably know that because you played it. They can't be placed on anything else. And they also can break. You can also break them. So it's pretty cool that way, that now adventure maps, you can totally, like, you can not worry about somebody breaking your map unless they cheat. But anyway, yeah, admittedly, I think this is probably the weakest branch. I think it's kind of fun to play in multiplayer, but to watch it, it really isn't good video, I don't think. So you really got to rely on the YouTubers being entertaining beyond that and tell some stories. But yeah, I don't think I'll ever make another maze map. I think I've learned my lesson. To me, it's kind of 2 failed branches. I do like the hedge maze in Diversity 1, but the other layers there, especially the lava layer, people just absolutely hated. So having that in mind, I was thinking, okay, why did they like the hedge maze? I think it's because it was more open, so I took that into account. I'm actually going to put, where is it? Effect at P, night vision 255, true. I'm going to put, yeah, night vision potion on me so we can actually talk. Anyway, what was I saying? I think they liked that because it was more open. So I thought, you know, people really hate mazes that are claustrophobic. It's really boring and annoying. So I wanted to make it quite a bit open to make it a little more interesting to look at. And then they hated the lava maze, so I thought, I'm going to make a maze that's just a maze. We're not going to worry about getting hit and all this sort of stuff. And so I created this entire maze completely with nothing but no mobs or anything. No, it was all lit up with redstone lamps and everything, and all you had to do was go around and find the skulls, and then bring them back and win. And I realized it was extremely boring. It was really boring. So I thought I'm gonna have to revamp this a little bit. So what I did was I I changed it to darkness, so you would have something to fight because I thought that's an easy way to make it more interesting. Then I added these markers because it's going to be really, really frustrating if you can't actually mark where you're going to be. That's one of the hardest things about mazes. If you're making a maze in Minecraft, put some way to mark. It's absolutely terrible if you don't give anybody something to mark their map with. I'm just telling you from making a few mazes, unless you have landmarks or something, don't even bother. Like seriously, make it so the rooms are easily to remember because most mazes like look the same on walls. Now, I spent a lot of time thinking of this design, really, really a lot of time. And as boring as it kind of is, you don't know the hours I spent trying to figure out the best combination of quartz and stained clay and all that sort of thing. But yeah, so I'd say there's really not much I can say about this map. I added the combat to make it more fun, and then I also added the speed buff because you get a speed buff when you step on the pressure plate. Because I'm also thinking, you know, what is the annoying part about doing the maze is, you know, taking forever. I want it to be challenging, but I also wanted it to be fun, and it's a very, very hard balance when you're doing a maze style map. So let me show you outside here, because this episode is going to be kind of both in one. I'm only going to do one episode. And you can see the layout of the maze. It's not too difficult. Like there are some dead ends. People have argued, or not argued, have told me it's not a labyrinth because labyrinths don't have any dead ends or something. I don't really care. You know, who cares? You know what it is. It's a maze. But it is intentionally tricky this way because you have to think in a few different dimensions. If you look down here, they do line up through those staircases and stuff. We got a staircase in here, which is black. What is it, coal or something, to make it stand out? It goes down here, so you've got to actually think not just 3 dimensions, but also up and down. Also, I intentionally tried to confuse the players with going against the left hand or right hand rule. There's a way you can solve most mazes by sticking to one side and just turning that way. And the way I did that was every time I'd lay this out, this is almost all built in MC Edit. Every time I laid it out, I would make one go right, make one go left, and then if right was the proper way, the next turn left would be the proper way, and then the next turn right would be the proper way, just to throw everybody off. Because when in Diversity 1, sometimes it was too easy. You just took the left or right way. And then the layers down below are actually the same. They're just rotated. They're just rotated with MC Edit. So we've got the top layer which rotates, 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 rotates down to the end. You can see, look at the bottom layer and the very top layer, they're the same. So it's the same maze, just rotated. And then when I got to areas that kind of lined up, I put the ladders. So we have connecting ladders from 1 to 2. We'll call this top floor 1. Actually, I guess it'd be 5th floor. 5th floor to 4th floor, we've got one that goes from 4th floor to 3rd floor, one that goes from 3rd to 2nd, one that goes 2nd to 1st. And then we've got ones that jump between both of them. So there's multiple ladders around it and different colors, like this one. Oh, there's my night vision ran out. Green would be the zombie. Eventually, you get to these portals. Let me show you the portals here. You can find them when you fly around. I have them marked somewhere. There we go. Obsidian block here. There we go. We got a portal. I wanted to activate them with a pressure plate there. There we go. And then that brings us to our pixel art here. So I'm not much of a pixel art guy. I've always been kind of fascinated by that aspect. of Minecraft. There's the zombie, gives you the head. Actually, you can put anything in there, and when you open it again, it'll be lost. It gives you the head, and if you lose the head, you can get another one. So that's resettable. But ends up putting you there. Oh, to show you something kind of cool, check this out. These are all really close together. So we've got a portal there, and I'm going to show you later how to line up portals. Very, very specific. But if you look over, where is it? There it is. There is one of the trivia answers. This is the answer for picking hell biome. And then we have over here, I actually made this. This is not natural. It's not natural. I think I did a pretty good job. But here is where all of our little rooms are, and then the other thing I was going to show you. Where is it? Is it over here? Not sure where it is. I think it might be. Oh yeah, it is over here. This is the portal from the survival branch. So we will be talking about survival branch in a later episode, but it's pretty close to those portals for the what branch are we in? The Labyrinthian branch. And that is why I encased them in bedrock. Now they are thousands of blocks away in the overworld, but in the Nether they're not too far away. So they're encased in bedrock, so you can't actually break in survival mode. Yeah, that's embarrassing. Anyway, yeah, that's basically the layout of there. I did all these pixel arts by hand. I went into my resource pack test map, took pictures of all the mobs, and looked at them closely and tried to copy it, because I'm not sure if there's an MC Edit program that does that. Probably is, actually. But yeah, that's basically my thought process of the Labyrinthian branch. I want to go over a few things with the commands. This is going to be a 2-in-1 episode. There's not much I can talk about in this branch of my thought process. It's kind of what you see is what you get. Added these different little upgrade things, I guess. I don't know what you call these, to make it a little more interesting so you don't feel like you're walking around doing nothing. But yeah, let's take a look at the commands of these. We got this testing out this final test for thing with the skulls, and the giving the torches, the path markers. But anyway, let's talk about those things. First of all I want to show you is how you win the actual wool. I've talked about this before. I have this XP orb clock thing over here, and it is basically activating what is it doing? It's activating a clock, I think. When I go away, you can see that torch comes back on. When I get here, it activates a fill clock. Well, it's under here. It's under here, and then well, here, I'll try and show you. It's actually between this command block and this command block, there is a fill clock, or set block clock. And then what's happening is it tests for this type of skull at that position, and if it does, it sets a clay block over here. And this is the same type of AND gate thing I had at the escape branch, where all of these get removed. So let me just activate one of them and show you what's happening. We'll just activate that, and you can see it removes that there. And so when all of them are gone, when all of them are clay, this redstone dust gets removed, and then it activates this, which then activates a bunch of stuff that causes this wool to pop up in place. So I have a clock that's only active when the player's within a certain range. It's shut off there, and it actually shuts off this fill clock right there. So when I'm in range, it's active, and when I get out of range from that spawner, watch this there. There you go. You see that redstone flash? Is it redstone flash there? Watch it, and then it just shut off that bottom set block clock there. So the next part we're going to be talking about is this acquire markers thing here, this giving torches. Now, the cool thing isn't the torches being given to you, although that is kind of cool. I really like that. And originally I was going to use redstone dust in this map, but then I got rid of the lights, so I needed a light source. Plus the redstone seemed to it just seemed to take a lot longer. I don't think you could block it off as well as the torches. I think the torches work better. Originally, why I was going to use redstone dust is because in the first labyrinth in existence that I think in Greek mythology, I might be wrong, but we're going to say the original labyrinth with the guy. Now, what was his name? Perseus or Theseus? One of those guys got in a labyrinth, got thrown in a labyrinth with a minotaur, which is half man, half bull. I love learning about Greek mythology when I was in school. He used string to kind of go. I don't think it was. No, it wasn't breadcrumbs. It was string. He used string going through the labyrinth to find his way out, and I thought redstone kind of looked like string, although I could have used string, but string you couldn't really see it very well. That's why I didn't want to use that. But anyway, I ended up using torches because of the light thing. But the cool thing about this is that this is a clock that gets activated by a pressure plate. So I'm going to show you how I made that, because I use this thing a lot, and not just in this part, like not just the giving torches, but activating a clock based on somebody doing a pressure plate and then taking it off when they stand off the pressure plate. I want to show you how to do that because I think it's really useful for some type of mechanism that you might do, whether you're a map maker or just tinkering around with Minecraft. So let me show you that. Alright, we're up here on the top for a bit of a better view. Now this is, I guess, going to be a little bit of a tutorial episode, but we are going to be building a set block clock, and I'm going to kind of gear it towards those who've never done it before, so bear with me. First thing we need to do is give ourselves a command block, so if you type exactly what I am doing, you'll get one. Give @p command _block, and then you can place it down in creative mode. And what you want to do is you want to do a set block command. These are relative coordinates, these little squiggles. I have talked about these many times in the past, and I usually pick clay. You want to pick some sort of opaque block, not like a transparent thing, but whatever you want. I pick clay because it's 4 letters long, easy to type. And then if you double tap jump and hold down shift, you can float in the air and you can place blocks down. And then you break the middle one and do the same thing here, but instead this time go below with a -1, and you're going to pick redstone block. So now we just need to give ourselves a redstone. If I type something like red and I hit tab, it'll start going through. I'm hitting tab again. It'll start going through the where is it? Redstone block. There we go. Start going through the list of blocks, so it's a little bit of a quicker way. It can be. And then you place it in here, and look, we have an actual clock that won't shut down, even though it doesn't look like it's doing anything. It actually is activating a bunch of set block commands at the same time. Now the way to shut it off is you simply just, and I'm holding space and shift. I'm floating. You just activate the top block, and there we go. It's shut off. So knowing that, all we have to do is hold control and then middle mouse click this one, and you'll actually get the copied command. You can put it 2 above, break that block, and then just change this to clay. And now what we have is I'm going to give myself another redstone block. We have a clock that can be shut on and off by placing another redstone block up there. So this is how I make all of my my set block clocks or fill clocks shut off and turn on. So we're going to activate it based on a pressure plate. What we need is another command block. So I'm going to pick a blank one here, and I'm just going to put it up somewhere right there, I think. And what we need to do is we need to get these coordinates. So we just need to do /set block. I'm going to hit tab, space tab, space tab. That means that the coordinate I'm looking at, you can see my cursor there, I'm looking at, it's going to grab that actual coordinate, that absolute coordinate in the Minecraft world I'm in. And then I'm going to hit space, and I'm going to do a redstone block. I'm going to hold shift and press home, hold control and press C, which copies it, hit escape to get out of there. And then I'm going to hold control and press V, and it's going to paste it right in there. Those are some little tips that I usually skip over, but there's always somebody who doesn't know about that. Then we just need to get some sort of a pressure plate that a person can activate. We're going to do that, and what it's going to do is when we step on it, it's going to activate that clock. Now, if we want to turn off the clock by stepping off of the pressure plate, we need to put a torch somewhere, and then what we got to do here Let's get another command block, and we'll just place it under like that. And then we need to activate this with a redstone block. But what we can do is it's 2 blocks high. We can just do that old copy pasting command. I just hit Control V, and then we can just do 84 because it's 2 blocks higher, 84. And then what we've got here is we've got a clock that shuts on and off based on a pressure plate. There we go. And it's off, and we step on it again. It's on, off. You see like that? And then next thing you got to do is just put your command on the actual clock. So what we'll do is we will, see if I get this right. I'm going to do a set block command. This is just so I get the coordinates. I hit tab, space, tab, space, tab. I've got to hold shift and back arrow and then Control C to copy. And then what I'm going to do over here is I'm going to give at P square bracket, and then these commands, this is the X, Y, and Z. And then after here, after another comma, I'm going to put R equals. Now, I know you guys, you don't have to type R, but for my purpose, I like the R, so it's easy to look at to identify what it is. Let's give them a radius of 0, I think. Square bracket, and then we're going to give a torch with, what is it, 1, 0? One's damage and one's amount, and I always get them mixed up. Let's just see if it works here. Did I get it wrong? Did I get it right? No, I got it right. Okay, so only the guy who is on the pressure plate is going to get those torches. Let's show you. If I drop that, it's got the clock activated, but because I am not on that pressure plate, I can't give it to me. And that'll kind of give it so that only the players, I guess what you actually could do, you could put an A if 2 guys are on the, or 2 players, I should say players, it could be female as well. If any player's on there, that pressure plate, if they're not, if a mob walks over it, it's not going to do anything. But if there's a player there, you can get those torches. That's how that works. But any type of command, other like it doesn't have to be a give. You can see down here, it's a little more complicated because there's some more stuff going on. But that's essentially what it is. The pressure plate activates this. There's my inverted torch command and all that. Activates the clock down here. Up here it gets removed if the redstone gets placed there. Essentially the same, just a little more commands going on. But yeah, that's basically that little mechanic there that I use all the time. All right, guys, we are in a fresh new world here, which is kind of funny because it's not really a typical setting for DEVCOM. But anyway, I have been specifically asked throughout the series, how do you line up Nether portals? Now, this is pretty common knowledge, but not everybody knows how to do that. And there's been lots and lots of videos on YouTube of how to do that, so you can search for it if you want. But because it specifically pertains, is that the word, to the Labyrinthian branch, I wanted to go over that. Very important in that branch that those portals lined up, because the way to finish the map is inside the Nether. We need the player to go through the portal, grab the skull, and finish the branch there. So let me show you how that works. Now, we're going to be looking at coordinates. I press F3, bring up the coordinates. These are the block coordinates. This is where we're standing, or the XYZ is also where we're standing, but this rounds it up. So what you need to know is that the overworld is about 8 times smaller than the Nether in I guess if you think of it that way. So for every block you move in the overworld, if I move that, then in the Nether I have moved 8 blocks. So if I move, what am I doing? I'm going the X coordinate, then I'm moving X8. Same as this way. If I go on the Z coordinate, then I would move 8 blocks on the Z coordinate. So it's kind of like actually more like an 8 by 8 for every block. So what we've got here, keeping that in mind, is we've got a Nether portal. So I'm looking at here with the looking at coordinates 1014, 492. And if I bring up my calculator and I divide the overworld by 8, I get 126 off of the X, and I get 61 basically off of the Z coordinate. So when I go through the portal, let's see what coordinates we end up with. It's pretty close. 128. What are we looking at? 128 by 61, I guess. 128 by 61. Yeah, okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply those by 8, which means we get 128 times 8 is 1024. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to move this portal. 1024. You know, I probably could set block it. Set block. 1024, and then what's the height? The height is 56, and then 488 is the Z coordinate, and I'm going to put obsidian. That is where our portal is supposed to be. So it will round up or down kind of based on what where you put it in the overworld. But if we build one here, it should line up in the overworld again, and that should be exactly lined up perfectly. So here we are here. So knowing that, we need to actually, the next portal has to be a minimum of 8 blocks away. Has to be a minimum of 8 blocks away. If we do that, then let's do, in the overworld, it's got to be a minimum of 8 blocks away. Let's put it right beside it. So let's do this. Let's put this. This has got 1, 2. This is going to be crazy here. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And I'm going to do that. Oh, messed that one up. I'm going to do that. We're going to do the poor man's portal. We're going to line that up. So what we've got here is we've got a 128.67, and the other one's 128.61. So the only difference is the 67. If I times that by 8, and this is a mouthful of math, so 67 times 8 is 536. 536. I'm gonna walk through this. I'm gonna walk through this one so I don't create that one yet, and this will bring me back to the one I was at before. So what we want to do is we want to do another set block command, but instead of 488, we want to do 536, and it got placed way over there. So look at how much how much more space it is. Those portals are that close in that world. But in this world, or in the overworld, they're that far spaced apart. So I'm just going to do that, and when I load up, now that should put me to the left one, I believe. And there we go. So we have 2 that are lined up. So, and then if I go through the right one, let's just verify. Let's break the, well, let's make the right one netherrack. So if I go through the right one here, it should be back with the right one. If I go through the left one, I should end up in the other portal. And there we go. There's the netherrack one. So that is how you line up portals. So and remember, when you go to the nether, you can't, well, yeah, I messed up. In the nether, you can put them side by side. But in the overworld, you cannot put them side by side because they have to be a minimum of 8 blocks apart. And if you work with round numbers, so if you pick your spot in the nether first, it's going to be a lot more accurate. All right, so that is pretty much all I wanted to go over in this episode. There's not much to it, really. It's, you know, there's not many commands to it except for the few that we went over. But, you know, it's a maze branch. Again, like I said, there we go. Like I said, it's not, you know, typically the strongest one, not usually everybody's favorite. But I think it does kind of emulate that mazy genre of Minecraft map. If I was going to do another diversity, I would never do another maze, I don't think. Both Diversity 1 and Diversity 2, it was kind of like the weakest branch, I think. But anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching again. Oh, man, Dropper's next. We're going to be in with a Brightmore, and he's going to be talking about his thought process of the stuff he put into it. That was sort of like a dual process here. We really worked good together, I think, with that one. I really liked that one. I think it went over really well. But anyway, thank you for watching, guys. We will see you next time, and enjoy your Minecrafting.